What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am AfterSound, and we bring you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream over on Twitch daily at This Is AfterSound is the username there. So come by, say hello. We do giveaways every stream, and we do giveaways here every Monday on the weekly Q&A videos. So make sure to leave your in-game comments in the your in-game username in the comments. All right. Let's hop into it. So again, coming to you a day later or 2 days later than I would have liked to, but I wanted to actually listen to the AMA twice just because I felt like there were a lot of really interesting things in there. Again, this is not a recap of the AMA. In fact, there's a good blog, and I'll try to link it down in the description below on Peak D, somebody who did a full recap. For me, though, what I like to do instead of a recap is just what are the 5 things that kind of stick out to me, and hopefully some of those aren't necessarily the highlights, but maybe just, some things for us to ponder moving forward. All right. So let me go here. As usual, I make my little visual aid, mostly for me, but just for you guys in case. Okay. So 5 biggest takeaways from the AMA. Number 1, and there's a reason this is number 1, and this is very important. It's because after the additional updates, the October updates to the bronze rewards, Yaba Matt took some time in the AMA to specifically speak about this, right? Saying that Splinterlands is not a free-to-play game. It is play to earn. And he, I guess, and by extension, the entire team is really trying to stress that. Okay. So what's funny is the fact that you can play for free, right? You can download the app or make an account in the game, not buy the spellbook, and actually try the game for free and play certain elements of it, but you're not going to earn anything. I don't know that if you can buy cards or what the deal is, but you can try the game for free, but it's not a free to play game. It is a play to earn game where the focus is on rewarding those who invest in in-game assets. Okay. So what's interesting now is that the bronze nerf initially, right, was focused on taking out bots. Now I would say that this bronze 3 nerf, right, specifically focused on removing DEC rewards for bronze 3, is again focused on nerfing the bots, or aimed at the bots, I should say. Now, why is bronze 3 important? I want to show you, if we can just come here for a little visual, you actually do not have any power requirements to be in bronze 3. So this is why people who have the bots will have to now either buy or rent power to be in bronze 2. Okay. And before, a lot of people are going to say the whale accounts that have all these bots or whatever will be easily able to delegate power out. And you're absolutely right. But the thing is, now that there is a power requirement for this, you have actors, whether they are bots or not, interacting within the in-game economy, right? Either buying or renting assets in order to make sure there is enough power in here. Before, you didn't need to do that, right? All you had to do was buy the $10 spellbook, let your bots go, and they would win enough. They'd play enough games every single day to farm DEC and to win rewards cards. Now, all of these folks will have to buy cards or rent cards or delegate from the cards that they already own, meaning that the requirement is higher, and therefore it is once again restricting supply. So it's all about protecting the in-game assets. That is what the team's goal is, and I'm glad that Yaba Matt was able to explain it like that. And again, I highly recommend people go listen to the AMA, not just for that, but for the entire thing. But that really stuck out to me because he said anybody now who is trying to engage in any bot-like behavior, whatever the case is, it really doesn't matter because they are becoming a part of the ecosystem, whether they buy or rent the power to be in bronze 2 to earn DEC, right? So that was something that kind of caught my attention, and I wanted to bring attention to here. All right. Number 2, this is potentially bad news. It was a little disappointing, although there's nothing official yet, but there may be a launch delay. We don't know yet. Initially, not initially, but the pre-sale is supposed to go until November 16th, right? Okay, so the voucher rewards for this event end November 16th, and then there was going to be a 1-week grace period for everybody to kind of use up their vouchers. And at that point, people were thinking, fine, you have your 1 month period of the pre-sale, then the 7-day grace period. would that put us at potentially late November, early December for the Chaos Legion release? And the truth is, that's no longer the case. We don't have a specific date yet, but I believe it was Cryptomancer who was speaking to this in the AMA, and he said end of the year or by the end of the year is their ETA or is their goal, right? So this could push back into the deeper parts of September, maybe mid, maybe even late September. Sorry, not September, into the mid or late parts of December. So we'll keep an eye out on this. I understand the team's doing everything that they need to do. There's a lot of updates coming. There's going to be a whole reformatting of the modern and wild formats coming. So there's a lot they need to do in order to make sure everything runs smoothly, and I want them to take their time. But the player in me was like, oh. So, well, I'll keep you updated if we hear anything else. But right now, I'm not expecting modern format, or not modern format, but I'm not expecting Chaos Legion. Legion. Oh my goodness. I'm just struggling today. Chaos Legion or modern format or any of the new updates to the game to come by the end of November at this point. We will see, but if they're already saying that end of the year, by the end of the year is the goal, I'm assuming we're going to be in December by that point, but nothing officially confirmed. Number 3, once again, just speaking to the utility of SPS in the future. A straight quote from Agro, the founder, said that anything that's cool in this game will require SPS. Let me put this in quotation marks. So it's just, and again, I might be paraphrasing exactly how he said it, but this was the sentiment. This was the exact sentiment that the team is going to be looking for further and further ways for SPS to be integrated and to reward those who have SPS. Right? So right now, what this airdrop is doing is it is giving SPS to people who have invested in in-game assets. At a certain point, that airdrop is going away, but in the long run, SPS isn't going anywhere. And so SPS is going to be the focal point and just the baseline of what this game stands on, right? As the governance token. So, a lot of people may be unstaked. A lot of people may be sold off with the dip that's been happening in SPS right now. Whatever the case is, for me, I'm just stacking. I'm just stacking SPS, and if you listen to the long-term investment strategy, I look at SPS similar to Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has a specific use case where it's just a store of value, but I don't ever plan on selling Bitcoin, right? At least not do a massive sell-off. I might take some profits here and there, but really, why? Well, I don't know. I don't want to speak to it, but for the most part, I plan on holding Bitcoin for the long run because with inflation, blah, 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 all this stuff we don't need to get into, unless you want me to, but we don't need to get into for that. I don't think I would ever want to sell Bitcoin. And now I kind of have that same attitude towards SPS, although not for the same or not for the exact same reasons, right? SPS is a hard cap token. There will only ever be 3 billion. And as this game becomes more and more popular and more players potentially come in, that will mean there will be less SPS for people to go around for everybody to have. So yes, SPS may not be the ultimate store of value. Obviously, to me, that's still Bitcoin or potentially some other coins out in the future. But SPS does have utility in game, and it will continue to have utility in game for the long run. We don't know everything yet. We only found out about the voucher system, a month ago, maybe less than 2 months ago. But with land coming, with Rift Watchers or Rift Walkers coming, and any future expansions and features that come to this game, anything that's cool in this game will require SPS. So that stood out to me. I think I believe it. Okay. Number 4, the DEC reward pool is doubling with modern format. So what does that mean exactly? Right now, there is a DEC reward pool that gives out rewards for anybody who wins a ranked battle game. So what will be happening is once we have 2 formats, right? Our main format now will be splitting into wild and modern format, where modern format is just focused on the most recent expansions. The DEC reward pool is going to double. Now, I wasn't sure. I had a feeling about this, but I don't feel like it was confirmed until it was asked specifically in this last AMA. I wasn't sure if they were just going to have the reward pool and kind of split it, or if they were actually going to double it. Now, what does this mean for me? And if you know and have been listening to this channel, I am I'm very bearish on the value of DEC in the long run, right? In the short run, over the next 9 months, I think DEC will probably continue spiking and have a high value. And here's the thing: as more and more players come in, there will be also a higher demand for DEC as well. But in the long run, the team has committed to saying that DEC being almost like 11 to 12x its peg is not a broken system. There's no exploit. So they're not going to be fixing anything, and they won't be taking DEC off of its peg, right? What they're saying is that they cannot control the way the market values it. And right now the value is extremely high because of the airdrop. But as we go along and the airdrop ends or comes to an end, I do feel like we will see a decrease in value on DEC. That's just my opinion. Looking at the numbers, looking at everything, and looking at the tokenomics specifically, that's just how I feel. Again, I do believe the team can do some mitigation of this by burning DEC, whether that is through the release of Riftwalkers or as the player base grows and more guild action starts happening. All that DEC is burned whenever it's used to buy things like that. So burning DEC makes it deflationary, right? But right now, increasing the amount only makes it more inflationary, in my opinion. So just something to keep an eye on. I'm going to continue flipping my DEC. As I said in the last video, or one of my recent videos about the investments, I've actually sold out of most of my DEC and flipped it into SPS or in-game assets. And I will continue to do that, holding a small portion, but that's really just for giveaways and to treat it as a currency, right? So just a very, very small aside here. Right. If I got airdrops from the US government to hold US dollars, that'd be awesome. But I don't. So most of the time, I just keep X amount of dollars in cash for my daily and monthly expenses and for, we'll just say like a 3-month rainy day or 6-month rainy day fund, right? Or emergency fund. Beyond that, everything else is invested into hard capped assets, whether that's real estate, whether that is stocks, or whether that's crypto. That's just kind of how I approach investing, and that's the same mindset that I view DEC with, right? DEC does have a little extra value now because of the airdrop, but in the long run, it is just meant to be a currency. And so I am treating it as such by just having enough to kind of navigate around the game with. All right. Lastly, number 5, higher level cards will be needed, or not needed, but higher level cards will be more beneficial for land production. So I'm so excited about land, even though we don't have, or we have very little information on it. And so what this means for me is I am continuing to invest in and level up all of the rewards cards. Right now, those are the cheapest across the board. They unfortunately don't have the same power levels as previous expansions, whether that's Untamed and Dice all the way back up to Alpha. But the fact that they are going for a cheaper price right now means that I can flip a lot of the DEC that I win or the DEC that I get from rental income immediately into cards and continue building my collection power and leveling them up before they go out of print and prices start to really rise, right? And they may not reach the levels in terms of value that the older cards have because there's going to be more of them. But at the same time, this is, unless you have hundreds or thousands of dollars to spend on buying, a bunch of cards. For me, I'm just taking everything. I love the fact that I can win a couple of games, earn some DEC from that, and then immediately flip that into one of the common cards. That's kind of my strategy right now. And then I'll take whatever rental income I have on a daily basis, and I'll buy some of the higher level, the rares and epic cards. So I'm continuing to buy cards. I'm continuing to level them up. And that's kind of my plan moving forward. So I'll probably go into that in a separate video, into a little bit more detail about how I'm viewing my Splinterlands strategy as a player in the long run. But leveling up the rewards cards right now is the main focus that I have. So that is really it. Those are the 5 takeaways. I do believe there is another AMA at the end of this week. So exciting times. There's just, I don't know. I'm loving it right now, guys. I'm loving it. The game has been a ton of fun, and connecting with all of you has been phenomenal. So I cannot wait for Chaos Legion to be out. I cannot wait for Modern Format to be out. But I kind of view these next 30 plus days, right, of the pre-sale and everything, where it's like it's a chance to to there's so much uncertainty, but it's also like a chance to really hone my skills, to build my deck. And again, maybe it's not the smartest thing. You know, I can't advise it because we don't know what's going to come out with Chaos Legion. But with the cards that I have right now, I'm learning how to utilize them to the best of my ability and the best of their ability in terms of level. And therefore, you know, just trying to continue flipping everything that I'm earning from this game to continuously improve my deck, improve my investments and everything. And it's just been so fun to be part of this ecosystem. So hope you guys are having the same or similar experience. And I will see you in the next video and around the game. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch up with you soon.